For me, I feel like people think it's like luxury. Like it's like we live a great life.
It's easy.
It's easy, or we get kind of access to things that other people don't. Like obviously that's true, but in the same sense, it's a lot more than that. It's a lot of hours behind closed doors that nobody really sees.
I don't think they realize that it's actually fun. It's not always stressful. Like as much as like you have to go to classes and then you have to go to practice, but like you're building friendships that will last you like a lifetime. So that's what I think they don't realize.
I think people also don't realize like how many transferable skills like you develop while just being on a team. Like you get those communication skills, you get like responsibility, you learn a lot of time management and just like responsibility, initiative, being a leader, especially with team sports and just being like a veteran of like that sport.
I feel like at least with me in specific, I feel like sports to me is like a gateway or like a getaway. I feel like if there's pressure outside of sports, I think playing sports and having pressure within sports makes that easier. But if I ever do feel any type of pressure, I usually stick to a routine. Like I would read the Bible before every game, or I would try to kind of stick to the same routine so that way I get that same relief every time, and I kind of know how to relieve that pressure, if that makes sense.
I think for me, in my situation, being a little bit different, like me not knowing basketball, coming here and having to relearn everything, the pressure was very, very immense on me, not even from like the external, but the pressure I had on myself to try to play and try to get something out of it. I think over the time, I realized how to deal with the pressure just being prepared, right? Because when you're prepared, you necessarily don't feel the pressure, and like pressure's a privilege, right? Like to be in a position where there's pressure on you that people rely on you to do something is a situation you want to be in as an athlete. Like you want to be in those moments where like the ball's in your hand with the last shot and stuff like that. So it's like, I honestly like you want to live for those moments.
Yeah, like me personally, like academic pressure is like not even comparable to like athletic pressure, because like academic pressure is just like you and your class, you versus like not versus, but like you and your teachers. But like with like sports, it's like you have your team, your coach, and everyone just on the bench, and then you have like a whole bunch of people in the stands, like just watching you all the time and
kind of critiquing too.
Yeah, it just feels like a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's also like trying to balance the pressure of like, okay, sometimes you can't apply the sport pressure within the classroom because it's high stakes for like, obviously you want to pass your classes, you want to communicate what you need, but it's not the same pressure.
Yeah, it's not like win or lose.
Field. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes balancing that and remembering that is like difficult because like within the classroom, at least for me, I'm like, I need to succeed and need to achieve this goal, but like even if I go below that goal, that's okay. So like remembering that balance is hard. So
I think injuries is like a major part in it. I feel like because if you play a certain way before injury and then you end up getting injured, that can take a big toll on how you look at yourself. I feel like the pressure of that in itself, of just coming back to what you once were, is pretty big on a lot of athletes. So it kind of also depends on how you measure yourself. But I think for any great athlete, you should measure yourself to the highest standard. And I feel like pre-injury is always something people think about. But overcoming that with the rehab and everything, which is a lot, I think that's also a big part of the process. And I think that ultimately makes you a better person and an athlete in the end.
I think for me, in my situation, I think we can, like, even like him, like we were both at our absolute peaks in like talent-wise and just like where we were basketball-wise, like we were at our best. And I know me personally, for me to like, the way I just went down to have like everything kind of flash before me, like all the work I had to put in and everything I had to kind of sacrifice to get to the point where I got to, and for it all to disappear in front of me was heartbreaking. It was truly heartbreaking, and it was like one of the points, probably the lowest points of my life at that point, just because my identity was surrounded by basketball. I was training, like if you thought of me, oh yeah, he plays basketball. So have that taken away and not be able to play the sport I love, that I learned to love, and have to just watch was something that I wasn't ready for completely at all. So I definitely going from when I first got hurt to having my surgery and having all that, I definitely realized how less physical the rehab process is and how much more mental it truly is. Because physically, like it's a lot easier to get back in, but like mentally to gain the confidence in your body again, to be able to move the ways you did before and have faith that you won't go and get hurt again is like something you can't take for granted. And I think me going through this process just taught me how much more grateful I have to be for the little things I have.
Oh, definitely. I feel like for me, the both seasons I've played for Mohawk, I've either gotten a concussion or an ankle injury. So like the feeling of letting my team down, but it's not actually letting my team down because it's something I can't control. That's like, wow, like mentally, like trying to figure out, okay, I can help in different ways for team-wise than like just actually playing, I think is a different avenue to go through.
Yeah, I think like, especially my first year, like just, we'd always have like assigned roles, and like, I feel like I could never like succeed. Like I was never doing enough. Mm-hmm. And like every time like something went wrong or I had a mistake, I'd like overthink it. And it was just so hard to get out of that mindset. Like all this pressure's on me and it's not okay to make mistakes, when it's actually the opposite, because you're learning from like every mistake you make. Mm. But yeah, like the pressure of having just like, it just feels like a weight on your shoulders that you just put on yourself. Like it's not real.
Yeah. Because like your coaches know you're going through, like you have your own personal life, you have your school life, trying to navigate stuff like with groups, and then also navigating with your team. Like everyone has different roles, everyone has different friendships, is interesting. Growing up, I was around people who like struggled with mental health or had some form of mental health. So just like not accommodating them, but like just being able to work with how they were feeling, or just like figure different ways to communicate with them, instead of being like, okay, this is how I talk to everyone, like why can't you just be able to talk to me? I also knew like growing up I wanted to go, like we're both in advanced police studies, so like some sort of like helping service. So I took the social service worker program to like better understand like how society views people with mental health, like just kind of like wanting to understand what the background is, how to communicate better. So I think that was kind of my light bulb moment in like high school, like kind of navigating that and seeing what I wanted to do with it.
My light bulb moment was like 2 years ago. I think after playoffs, I think it was like we lost the quarterfinals against Algonquin at Algonquin, and I really struggled with my self-worth. I just felt like this super heavy burden that wasn't really there, and like as a rookie I was thinking that like
that makes sense
about every single mistake I made in that game, which I did make quite a bit, but it's so hard to like get out of that mindset, especially with being like with it for like an entire season. And yeah, that moment I was like holy shit, like I might need to like talk to someone about this, because like this, if this is me like bawling my eyes out like every time like we lose, my mental health would be like.
Did you talk to Mihai or no?
No, I talked to a teammate.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And then I talked to Mihai though. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think probably like in more into like my first year, it was like just a lot to deal with, especially like we both have like our season is both like first semester only, so it's like you're starting school, like obviously new city, like we were both on res.
You don't know anybody.
Yeah,
like,
we were both on res like first year, and it's also like okay, like in school and everything, it's like okay, every like multiple things are just thrown at you, and you just have to like learn how to deal with it. As like I was 17 at the time, and like
so, both of our seasons are so short. Like it's you're literally from preseason and then boom, you're done in October. And I think like also with school too, it's just a lot built up. But I think once you've like played sports or done something like out of school so much, you get used to it or learn how to cope with it. But I would say like first year was definitely rough. Like navigating where you are, especially you're like a young adult and meeting new people, you're out of high school, and then you're gonna meet all these random people, do something you don't even know if you want to do this. Like it's just a lot of like new things kind of like built up.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think like you ignore it and you take it for granted, the things you do on a daily basis. But I think for me, like that summer, 2023 summer, coming into 2024 was a big one for me. Because like I didn't really make I made a huge jump from 2024, like on the court, but like a lot of that I attribute to like me just really taking care of my mental side of things and really attacking like my weak points in my whether it was my confidence in myself and like just other things that I need to deal with myself. And I think that was like the biggest leap I've made in my career here, is just more so just having the absolute delusional belief in myself.
I don't know. I feel like I would just kind of like reiterate the same thing. Is just because I think for me, like the biggest or the time I can remember the most was just when I got injured. I don't know if you use this film or not, but yeah, I just feel like that was the time where I was like, whoa, this is real. Especially like being away from something you're used to. Like that was my first major injury. So at that time, I definitely felt like it was like, okay, I can't do what I usually love to do. So how do I kind of go about my day to day? And I think in that moment was when I knew like there was times where I would just be alone and I would think about like, damn, I really can't play basketball. And I think that was when it really hit me, where it's like, okay, like I feel sad, but I don't know why. Or there's something deeper than what I'm feeling, and I need to kind of release it or talk about it to somebody. So I feel like that was definitely a moment, was the injury, for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's definitely been times where I've been overwhelmed. But for me personally, as I like to keep myself, show that I'm a strong person even when things are hard. But I also work through that myself on how, like, what do I need, what I need to do. And like, I'm also good with, if I'm overwhelmed, I'll talk to my friends about it. The girls on the team, like, our team is very good at talking about stuff like that. So if I'm ever in a position where I'm overwhelmed, then I know I have people I can talk to, like, in my corner, so.
Yeah, I really keep like everything in. Like I never, like also being like captain, I feel like comes with like responsibility of like you're there for your teammates. If they have any issues or anything like that, they come to you and not the other way around. So I know a lot of that for me was like, I don't feel like I'm in a position to go talk to my teammates because I'm supposed to be the one going there for them. So me just bottling everything in and just like, I was struggling myself, but if one of my teammates came up to me, I would drop everything I was doing to go help them or figure out or just listen to them or whatever. And at the end of the day, like I was never talking about it, so everybody thought like I was okay, I was managing everything perfectly, which I really wasn't, but I should have definitely said something to people.
Like I think just as a human being, like you meet and you connect with so many people. You meet so many people through sports. Like the amount of friends I've met, people I just like care about me. I think just that brings happiness and like well-being, because it's like, oh, I have all these people that I met through a sport that care about me and support me. Like if I'm ever going through a time where I need help through that, I always know they have my back on the field and off the field, right?
Yeah, exactly. So. No, I agree. And especially like you said, meeting like new people, even though it's not like doesn't necessarily have to be like your teammates, can be like somebody from another sport as well, that you will just find that connection and you're like, oh, like they actually understand more of what I'm going through than I thought they would at first. And just like, yeah, just making friends and always having each other's back on and off the field.
As corny as it sounds, like it really is like your second family away from home. Especially like you're training with these girls for like hours at a time, so they become like your sisters basically. You eat together, train together, take naps on the couch together. Honestly, they get annoying sometimes. You bicker together, but like it's just, I don't know, just being that close to like people for like that such like long periods of time, it's hard to like not form like such a strong connection, especially with competitive sports. Like you guys have the same goals. It's like you want to win and you're willing to like just like push like yourselves and like put it all on the court, and just like having that. And also with team sports, you need like that trust.
Yeah, if you don't have that, that's kind of hard. Like you don't mesh with each other. Like there's no like collaboration in any sort. At least for my sport, like most of the team, almost everyone can play each other's positions. So being okay and open to being like, okay, there's days where I'm not good at it, but I'm gonna make sure that I'm cheering you on and like encouraging you for that spot that you're in right now. So, and I think some people like view female sports as like, oh, like they're only for themselves and like they just want what's for them. But I don't think they realize, like, it's not like that. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like you're not being pissy. You're not like, yeah, there's days you're going to have a bad day and you'll say something and then you're going to be like, you're either going to get called out from it from a coach or from another player. But it's just like, it's okay to have a bad day, and recognizing that too is like, I don't know.
Yeah, they just act like girls have like so much drama.
Yeah, it's not true. Like, obviously you're going to be like, oh my goodness, I went on a date and like, I'm going to tell you about it. That's like, that's the most drama you'll get. Or like, someone has like pants that are my size and I wanted that. Like, there's not that much going on that.
No, we're like grown adults.
Yeah.
It's like not that serious.
If you were like in Pee-wee, then that would be like.
Yeah, it's like
but no.
girls ripping out hair and stuff. It's like,
No.
it's just crazy. Like,
Yeah.
But I think it means a lot, especially being on the basketball team and Hamilton being such a basketball-driven city, to represent a nit-gritty school city, and just me like having to like work for everything I've gone up to this point. I really relate to everything going around me, and it just feels good. Feels good when kids are coming to the games and they recognize you, and they really, like, that's what you do it for at the end of the day. Like, people make fun of me all the time, but like, people are genuinely care when you're on the court. Like, even if it's like 1 or 2 people or whatever it is, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel nice. It makes you feel like valued and cared about, and everything you do behind the scenes is worth it.
Yeah, I think for me, like growing up in Toronto, I feel like coming out here, I was a little bit iffy at first, just being in Hamilton. But like I really do love the city, and I feel like just the beauty of it, for me at least, is the city's big enough where it has a large, like there's a big support, but it's small enough where people will come out to your games. I know that in Toronto it's too big where people are always doing things, or everyone's busy. But out here in Hamilton, like when you're part of any program here, like you really feel supported by the community, and I think the community, like representing a community that has been known for such toughness and gritness, like it's definitely a good feeling, and you definitely wear that with pride no matter where you go. So.
And JV makes it an absolute mission to represent the city with pride and grit. And he'll let you hear it if you don't.
Yeah.
So shout out coach for that.
I think a lot of people, like especially like the staff that you can go to, and like everybody's had their fair share of experiences, and a lot of our staff here has been student athletes before. So I feel like they do get it, and if like we're either struggling in like a class or like mentally or like in personal life, I feel like a lot of them are very open to like having a quick chat with us, and like I feel never judged by any of them, whatever I decide to share that day, or and talk to
I think
them.
like what comes to me is community, and I think the school has a lot of that through the people out here. Like everyone I've met is so nice and welcoming. I've never felt where I'm like, oh, like I don't know if I like it here, right?
Yeah.
And I think that just comes with people and just being a good human being and supporting everyone through everything. And I think the school also offers a lot of help, not just out of people just like helping you navigate through this part of your life. So
Agreed.
We approach mental health differently from every lens. We are probably one of the only OCAA schools that actually have a mental health and mental performance coach. We are one of the only OCAA schools, and maybe even one of the only schools in Canada, that we actually talk about our mental health with our athletes. And I mean, doing videos, doing awareness campaigns is great. Every school does that. But when you have somebody on staff and you have people on staff that openly talk about mental health, that openly talk about mental illness, that address it head on without beating around the bush, that are trying to educate each other, coaches, staff, athletes, holding these different conversations and hosting these different conversations is so different than having an awareness campaign. And it's so different than, running a Bell Let's Talk Day campaign, which is incredible. But that's the sparkly stuff, right? That's the stuff that people do to show support. It's so different when we're behind the scenes and athletes know they've got somebody and they've got people that actually are going to listen and actually follow through with good intention to try and help them. And I think having worked in the industry of mental health now for probably close to 15 years, having been in a variety of different companies, corporations, businesses, departments, there's so much stuff done up front, but you get behind the scenes and those real conversations aren't happening, and that's what we do here.
A lot of these kids, this is like the first time being independent. I know when I was a student athlete, didn't really have a lot of resources back when I was playing, and I would have loved to have those resources, even if it wasn't about something I was struggling with. Maybe it would just be something about like developing a strategy while I'm playing, the sport, and just being able to sort of get a clear perspective and have that ability to not be overwhelmed in the environment. I think that would have been absolutely crucial, and I think that these kids, at the school, have a really good opportunity, especially talking to someone like Nick Petrella, who's on staff, talk about just whatever they're going through, and then also being able to like develop strategies in helping them, succeed not only in the classroom but on the field as well.
I think I would remind them that they don't have to do it all, that it's okay to say no to some things. Like, yes, you're on a team and you're expected to work with your team and give what you have, but like if there's things you don't understand or can't achieve in that time frame, like it's okay, and you have 5 years of eligibility. Like you have time to grow, you have time to like ask the questions that you need to, but like kind of Tiff was saying, like it's okay to be making those mistakes. Because if you're perfect all the time, you're not really learning. You're just kind of like breezing through. So like be okay with the mistakes, and then like try to learn from them and say like, hey coach, like what can I do for next time? Or hey teacher, like can I learn from this, from like I got this mark, why did I get this mark? Like asking those questions I think is a big thing.
Something that my assistant coach used to say to me all throughout my first year is give yourself some grace.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like it's a whole new sport. Like going from high school basketball to like college basketball, it's a lot more intense. There's so much better competition. You're playing with girls like 5 years older than you. Mm-hmm. You're gonna make those mistakes, and your first year is just a huge learning curve. It's not something you're going to get right off the bat. You're going to practice, and you're going to learn, and you're going to develop, and that's basically what your first year is for. Mm-hmm.
Like you're not going to be the last, you're not going to be the first. Speak up. It makes it truly easy. Isolating yourself completely it's not good for you. It's not healthy for you. You have so many resources here in the college. Why not make the most of it? Because like having a poor mental health leads to poor outcomes in school, the core, and all that snowballs, right? So like if you're not doing so hot in life and you're not doing so good on the court or field or whatever it is, you're just gonna feel even worse, right? So always make sure you reach out, deal with things right away. Don't really avoid them.
I think we still have a lot of room to grow. I think we are creating open spaces. We're having open dialogue. We're aware that we can openly talk about it, but there's still stigma. There's still stereotype. There's still that weakness associated with mental illness that we are continuing to fight. In my generation, being a coach now, we weren't brought up to be able to share, about our mental health or mental illness and anything related to that. It's the student athlete of today that is going to change that conversation, because the more that they are openly talking about it, the more their kids are going to openly talk about it, which means the next generation, it's going to be entirely different. The stigma is not going to be as strong, and hopefully we continue to save more lives every year because we're having these real open conversations.